So hello, everybody. Health Coach Art here. And today we're going to be talking with ShNell Torrie, a fellowette health coach. I actually met ShNell. She was actually my first Skills Lab partner when I started my training. We started at the same time. So it's really been great keeping up with her and watching her grow as a health coach. And so we're going to talk to her today a little bit about her coaching practice and get a little details on that. How are you today, ShNell?
Doing good. Thanks for the introduction.
And ShNell is in somewhere in Canada. I can't remember where.
Alberta.
Alberta, and I am just north of San Diego, so it's probably a little warmer here.
Guaranteed.
Okay, so let's get going. First off, tell us what made you want to become a health coach.
I think I would say it's primarily that I've for a long time I've been interested in my own health and improving myself and really self-help in general. Health coach just seemed fitting because I have such an interest in it, and the reason why I wanted to become a coach is because I enjoy sharing what I'm learning with other people to help them.
So how's going through the training we've gone through, how has this affected you personally as on a health level? I mean, what has this taught you for your own health?
It's actually, it's radically changed my perspective. I think in regards to my own health, I've often taken an all or nothing approach, and I've done some pretty, what's the word I'm thinking of? I don't know. A lot of people would look at it as extreme, where I was eating, the typical, well, not even the typical American diet, because I feel like my mom taught me to do better than that, even from when I was little. But as an adult, I didn't really think much of it. And the more I read and the more I learned about specific health plans and lifestyle changes, there was no, let's take a step forward here. It's, you need to eliminate all these foods and you need to really focus on eating these kinds of foods. And so in the process, we throw out everything that our family's always done, and we go on this gung-ho kick of we're going to be crazy. And I say crazy because it feels crazy to do such a drastic thing overnight and bring your whole family along with you. But the thing I noticed when I did it was how amazing I felt. I had so much energy, and food no longer became the central focus of my life. I was able to pay attention to other things. And so, yeah, what I've learned specifically about my change in perspective is that health doesn't need to be an all or nothing approach. You don't need to go all in to improve your health. You can take it one step at a time. And in fact, the best way to do it is one step at a time.
So for you literally, if I understand you right, made an overnight change, which meant your family did too?
Yeah. And that was, let's see, that particular child is 10. I did that when he was 1, and we did it probably for 2 years, which was pretty amazing. But then I had 2 more kids, and you know how that goes.
Life happens.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your training. Where did you get your training to become a health coach, and what was that experience like for you?
So the training is from a company that's called the Health Coach Institute. And I have to honestly say that I haven't researched. I did not research different health coaching schools. This one came up when I was searching for health coach training. It was the first one on my list, and I clicked on it and checked it out and made a phone call right away. And I was so impressed with their program that I signed up within a week. And the reason why I love it so much is because there's so much organization and structure. And I feel like I'm leaving the training with a really large toolbox to to launch my business. I don't really have to wonder how I'm going to do it. I just have to be patient while I'm learning to do it.
And I can back you up on that. Obviously, we both, I'm not plugging the school, but our experience with Health Coach Institute has been pretty much the same. I did not research other schools. An ad for the school was forwarded to me, excuse me. And literally 2 days later, I was signed up. So if you're interested in coaching, I would definitely consider looking into them.
Yes, I agree.
You know, one of the questions I get asked quite a bit is, what is the difference between a therapist and a health coach? On the surface, sometimes I think we tend to look to be very similar, but I would be interested in hearing what your take on that is. How would you describe the difference between what we do and what a therapist does?
I think my perspective, and having had plenty of therapy myself and not as much experience with being coached, I think that, at least in my experience, having therapy, you focus a lot on what's happened in the past and you try to identify patterns, and they do help you overcome, but I feel like it's more of an awareness thing. Whereas I feel like coaching is more specifically, let's meet you where you are, the client right now, and let's help you get to where you want to be. And so to me, it feels like more specific goal setting with support and structure and accountability.
Yeah, very good. That really kind of clarifies it pretty simply, really. So what kind of clients do you work with?
Right now, I've decided that because of my life's experience and because I'm still on my health transformation journey, I want to work with women who are in my stage of life. So women who are middle-aged, and that, I don't know if that sounds offensive to people. You can pick the age. For me personally, it's the phase of I'm done having kids and I'm in my 40s and life has been really busy for the last 5 or 6 years. And I feel like, whoa, what happened to my body? What happened to my sleep? You know, I really want to recover that because my kids are growing up and they're requiring a lot more energy, and I want to be able to keep up with them. And I want to be a good mom and an energized mom for the next, a lot of years before my youngest, she's 5. So yeah.
And, you know, what's been amazing to me in this experience is how much what you're offering is needed out there. I mean, women in particular who are going through very similar things can really benefit from your experiences and from what you know.
Can I just say something else I forgot to say?
Yes, of course.
So I wanted to point out, I think in some of my social media things, maybe it feels like weight loss is the focus, but I don't think that's the focus for me. I feel like energy and body confidence is even more important than weight loss. At least I know it is for me. And so that's kind of the direction. Those are the kind of clients that I want to attract, the people that, yeah, losing weight would be nice, but it's not our number one priority. We want to feel confident in who we are and we want to have energy. And the weight loss is kind of a byproduct of that.
Okay, very good. So what do you, would you say health and life, or just health issues, do you feel you work best with?
That's a good question. I mean, based on what I've completed in the training, I would say I feel more prepared in the health coaching realm, but I'm also really interested, especially after doing that fear exercise with you last week, because everyone experiences fear and we all view it and perceive it differently. And so I don't know, I think I actually would like to combine the health and life coach perspective.
Okay. So what would you say differentiates you from other coaches?
I would say my personality and my life experience. I have 6 kids, and I know I feel like I'm in a minority of people who have more than 4. And because of that, I have a unique perspective in busy and overwhelm and trying to make time for yourself when you have so many people that need you.
Mhm.
That's part of it. I also feel like I'm a pretty calm personality, and people that I have worked with have told me that just being with me and who I am brings a calming influence to the session, and it allows them to be calm and to open up more, which has allowed more growth for them.
Very good. So basically you walk the talk.
I sure try. I like to be as authentic as possible.
What is the age range of your 6 children?
My oldest is 18 and my youngest is 5.
And somewhere in there you have a husband too. So
Somewhere in there. Yep. He works pretty crazy too.
okay, so you have a very busy life,
Very.
prone to stress, and so I would imagine stress management is a big part of your coaching.
Yep. Yes, you're right.
Okay, what's different about your coaching program than others?
Um, well, having not really investigated coaching, that is an interesting question, and not having a lot of personal experience myself. But I do know some coaches who just offer one session here, one session there. You sign up, and you have a little conversation. And if you have another issue, then you schedule another appointment. My program initially is going to be a 90-day program. So you meet once a week for 12 weeks. And the first session is all about setting goals and figuring out where the client wants to be. And yeah, so what makes it different is it's not just a one-off, we want to get somewhere, and we're going to work together over a period of time together to get the client where they want to be.
Yes, very good. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that the type of coaching we do is not going to work well with a every once in a while get together. It does require consistency. So do you do your coaching in person or phone or?
I have actually done all 3. I've done phone, I've done in person, and I've done Zoom or video call. My personality preference is a phone call. I'm getting used to the video conferencing. A lot of people really like that because they want to see me.
Mhm.
I would say that in person is probably my least comfort level. And I think maybe it's because I am still learning how to do it, and we follow scripts, and I'm in the process of trying to make them my own. And so having someone sitting right there in front of me while I'm trying to adapt and change and, feel the energy, it's not quite as comfortable for me yet, but I'm open to it.
Yeah, and I can fully relate to that. I know it's different when you're working with somebody. Actually, all 3 have their own differences. I personally prefer video, even though at first it was a little intimidating, and watching myself squirm and all the stuff drove me nuts. But meeting with somebody in person is totally different.
Yeah,
I'm not saying different in a negative way, but it just you have a different approach to it.
that's right.
So if I was, say, I'm considering working for a coach, and maybe I'm somebody who wants to lose weight or something like that, and then what would that experience be like if I was working with you? How would that go? Give me the run.
If you were working with me, or if you wanted to know more so that you could work with me?
Well, I think we can play it as kind of like, all right, I've already, we've talked, had that initial discovery call with someone, and I decided I want to work with you. How does that work? I mean,
Okay, so
Is it
Oh,
weekly calls or
okay.
often, how long, that sort of thing?
Okay, that's what you mean. Yeah, so typically it's a call or video chat or whatever once a week. 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how the session, and it could be up to an hour and 15 minutes if the client is needing some more time to talk and to get some more things out. That's definitely flexible that way, but typically it's 45 minutes to an hour for once a week for 12 weeks.
So, what would be my part in all this? I mean, what would be expected of me as I'm going through your program?
I would say that an ideal client would show up to each session, whether or not they are feeling comfortable in how much progress they made during the week. Showing up is really the most important. And yeah, I would say that the commitment is probably the biggest part. The second biggest part is having a willingness to change. If you don't want to change, you're not the right client for me. I don't want to chit chat for an hour once a week for 12 weeks. I want to help people improve.
So, there are probably, people watching this interview that are very interested, but maybe they're leading very busy lives with not a lot of time to spare. How much time should someone expect to be able to, to contribute as they go through this program, say on a weekly basis? In 1 week, how much time would I be expected to set aside for doing your program, other than the 45 to 60-minute conversation?
That's a good question, actually, because I feel like the busier people do have less time to invest, which I just take into consideration when we're helping set up the goals in the beginning so that we don't go too big and fail. And just remembering the importance of small steps. And so if you do have a really busy life outside of the call that we would have, I could guess maybe an hour a week. It depends on what specific goal you're trying to work on and how much self-care you already engage in. And people wonder what self-care is. Well, that's just doing things that you enjoy to rejuvenate yourself, help with stress management.
So if I'm somebody that wants to lose weight and I go through your program, are you going to put me on a diet? Or, I mean, I love cheeseburgers and Mexican food. Am I going to be expected to give all that stuff up?
That's actually one thing I really love about this program, is because there aren't specific diets. And I was just speaking with a client about this the other day, and she said, is there certain foods that I really should be eating? And we don't really like to use the word should. Our main goal is to create a plan that works for everyone's unique body, because none of us are the same. Mm-hmm. So we focus on finding foods that give us energy, and that's what we really focus on, not so much the what we shouldn't be eating.
So, somebody out watching this interview is, I would imagine there's probably people out there that are very interested in possibly working with you. So, what would be their first step?
First step would be to send me a message. Right now, it's probably easiest to reach me through social media. I've got a personal Facebook account, which is ShNell Torrie. I check my direct messages really often there. I'm also on Instagram at ShNell Torrie Coaches. And then I have an email address as well, which is shnelltorriecoaches@gmail.com, which we could put those things underneath because you may not be able to spell my name. Those are the best ways to get a hold of me, and you just say, hey, I'm really interested. And then you and I would work out a time to meet for that first discovery call, find out what your goals are, I give you a little bit more of an overview of the program.
Okay. Yeah, if any of you, if you can't remember, how to contact her, just send me a message and I can forward it to her for you. So, I think, this has been really good. It's been interesting. Like I said, we've kind of known each other for a while now, so it's been fun watching you grow as a coach. And I remember our first practice session together, we both stumbled through it, and now here you are actually coaching clients, and I think that's fantastic. Anything that I haven't asked you that you would like me to?
No, I don't think so. I think that was a really good introduction. Let me just check my notes here. I guess, I don't know if I said this before, but this health coaching program that I have set up is, some people might like to see it as a holistic approach. And I think I probably already mentioned that it's not just about the food. There's so many aspects to your health that affect your weight loss and your stress and your sleep. And so that's something that's important to know as a future client, that it's not just about food. There are so many other things that we need to consider and address in order to move forward and be where we want to be.
Right. And I could tell you all from an experience perspective, being someone who has lost a lot of weight and dealt with health issues, one of the most powerful aspects of this program, like what ShNell's program, is accountability. Knowing that at the end of the week or sometime that week, I'm going to be talking about my previous week, and it's kind of like you want to impress your coach a little, so you maybe you're a little extra good, but just that accountability that you have somebody who's behind you, supporting you, makes all the difference in the world. Combine that with a great program that, the right steps at the right time, all that is almost fail safe.
That's right. Yeah, I agree.
Can't guarantee results because the client has a part in it. They have to
That's right.
have to do it, and
That's right.
but I can pretty much guarantee that if someone is going through your program, if they're doing what you're suggesting, they're going to have a positive experience.
Thank you.
Well, ShNell, thank you very much for taking the time to talk about your program and all that, and I hope you get lots of good results. So have a great day, everybody.